Hello, my name is Muskan Jain. Today we are going to learn about graph transformations. So what are graph transformations? Suppose I tell you to make the graph of y equals to minus 2 x plus 3 whole square minus 3. Will you be able to make this graph? Will you be able to make this graph? No. So by the end of this chapter, we'll be able to make this graph. Right? So let's start the topic. It's graph transformations. Graph transformations. So what are graph transformations? Graph transformations are the changes made to the original graph. So what are graph transformations? Changes made to the original graph is known as graph transformations, right? So there are three types of graph transformation. First is translation, second is reflection, and third is stretching and compression. So one by one we learn this. What are these? First is translation, second is reflection, and third is compression and stretching. So in translation, there are two types of translation. One is vertical translation and other is horizontal translation. In compression and stretching, there are two types of compression and stretching. One is vertical stretching and compression, and other one is horizontal stretching and compression. So before we learn these graph types of graph transformation, let's learn the fundamental graph of mathematics. We learn the fundamental graphs. So some fundamental graph comprises of first one is y equals to mod x. So what is y equals to mod x graph? It is a V-shaped graph. Second, y equals to x square. It's a U-shaped parabola. Next, what is an exponential graph? Y equals to e to the power x. This is an, we'll make a graph of exponential. Here it cuts the y-axis at 0, 1. Fourth, logarithmic graph. Y equals to log x base a. If a is greater than 0, that is a is greater than 0, the graph of log would be this. It cuts the x-axis at 1, 0. Next, fifth graph would be trigonometric graph y equals to sin x. It is a wave-like structure and the graph of y equals to sin x is this. This is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi, pi, minus 2 pi, minus 3 pi. Right. Next, we will make the graph of y equals to root x. So, the graph of y equals to root x is this. And seventh fundamental graph is y equals to 1 by x. So graph of y equals to 1 by x is this. So using these seven fundamental graphs, we will be able to transform graphs, right? Chalo, let's start with first transformation, which is translation. So what is translation? Translation is shifting of graph. Translation is shifting of graph. So there are two types of translation. One is vertical translation. Next one is horizontal translation. So in vertical translation, the graph shifts upwards or downwards. So we vertically shift graphs upward or downwards. In horizontal translation, we shift graphs leftwards and rightwards. Right. So we'll learn what is vertical translation. So what is vertical translation? So the graph vertical translation expressions seems like this: y equals to fx plus c. The expression is given by y equals to fx plus c. So when c is a positive number greater than 0, the graph vertically shift upward by c units. Shift upward by c units. Similarly, if c is less than 0, the graph vertically shift downward by c units. Downward by c units. right? Let's see this with an example. So if someone asks me to make the graph of y equals to x square plus 2, so our original graph would be y equals to x square, right? So we'll make the graph of y equals to x square, and we know the graph of y equals to x square is a u-shaped parabola, and its vertex is at origin. So what happens when we transform the graph to y equals to x square plus 2? So when we transform the graph from x square to x square plus 2, the graph shifts upward by 2 units. So the graph would shift, and the transform graph would be like this, and it would shift from 0, so 0 by 2 units, and the original vertex would, the new vertex would become 2 comma 0, and the graph of y equals to x square plus 2 would become this. Right? This is vertical translation. I will tell, as one more example we will take, y equals to mod x minus 3. What would graph of y equals to mod x minus 3 look like? Right? So original graph of y equals to mod x looks is this, y equals to mod x. Right? This is the graph of y equals to mod x. So y equals to mod x minus 3. Here c is less than 0. So what do? We shift the graph vertically downward by 3 units. So the transformed graph would look like this. This point would become 0 comma minus 3, and the graph will vertically shift downwards by 3 units. So the graph, this would be the graph of mod x minus 3. Right? Next type of translation is horizontal translation. Horizontal translation. So horizontal translation, the expression looks as y equals to f of x plus c. Right, y is equals to x plus c. So if here also there are two cases. If c is greater than 0, the graph shift leftward by c units. The graph shift leftwards by c units. And similarly, if c is less than 0, the graph shift rightwards by c unit. Rightward by C units. Let's see this by an example. Similarly, y equals to mod x plus 3. What would the graph of y equals to mod x plus 3 look like? So, what is the original function? Original function is y equals to mod x. Let's make the graph of y equals to mod x. The graph of mod x would look like this, y equals to mod x. So what would y equals to mod x plus 3? Here c is greater than 0. So this original graph would shift leftward by 3 units. So here this is the vertex is here at 0 comma 0. When it shifts by 3 units, this would become what? Minus 3 comma 0. So we'll make the transform graph, and this transform graph would look like this. So this would be graph of y equals to mod x plus 3. Right? Similarly, if someone asks me, make the graph of y equals to x plus 1 ka whole square. Same thing we'll do here. We'll first make the original graph. Y equals to x square looks like this. Now it is x plus 1 ka whole square. What do we do here? We'll shift the graph leftward by 1 unit. The transformed graph would look like this. The graph would be this. This would be minus 1 comma 0, and this would be the graph of x plus 1 ka whole square. Right? This was all about reflection. This was all about translation. The next topic, the type is reflection. So there are two types of reflection. Reflection about x-axis and reflection about y-axis. So any function is changed, y equals to minus f of x. Here the reflection we take is about x-axis. It is reflected about x-axis. Similarly, any function of the type transformed into f of minus x, this is reflected about y-axis. If the function is of the type y equals to minus f of x, it is reflected about x-axis. If the function is of the type y equals to f of minus x, it is reflected about y-axis. Let's see this with an example. Let's take a basic graph y equals to x square, right? Now we transform this graph y equals to x square to y equals to minus x square. So this is what form? This is first form. So you know the original graph y equals to x square looks like this. How what would y equals to minus x square look like? We'll take a reflection about x axis. Place a mirror here and take a reflection. So if we take a reflection, we'll get the transform graph. When we take this reflection about x axis, the transform graph would look like this. This would be the transform graph. So this is the graph of y equals to minus x square, right? Similarly, we'll see the example of y equals to f of minus x type. Now let's take y equals to root minus x. Let's make this graph. As we know, graph of y equals to root x is original graph is like this. When we transform y equals to root x to y equals to minus root x, the graph transforms how it is reflected about y axis. Similarly, we'll take a reflection about y axis and we'll plot the graph. So the transform graph would be this. This would be y equals to root of minus x. So this was about reflection. The third type is stretching and compression. So there are two types of stretching and compression. One is vertical stretching and compression, vertical compression, and the second type is horizontal stretching and horizontal compression. Let's see first type. First type would be vertical stretching and vertical compression. The expression in vertical stretching and vertical compression is given by y equals to a of f of x. Right? So there are two cases here. Case 1 is when a is greater than 1, the graph vertically stretches. It vertically stretches. When a lies between 0 and 1, here the graph vertically compresses. Vertically compresses. Let's see this by an example. Now, the original graph is y equals to sin x. Somebody says he make the graph of y equals to 2 sin x. Y equals to 2 sin x. Now, we know sin x lies between, we know sin x range is minus 1 to 1, right? So 2 sin x range would be minus 2 to 2. So the original, first we will draw the original graph. The original graph of sin x would be this. Sorry. This is the original graph of sin x. This is the point 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, minus pi, minus 2 pi. What happens when we make the graph of 2 sin x? This graph, the original graph, vertically stretches. This is the range 1 to minus 1. So we will make the range 2 to minus 2. So the transform graph will vertically stretch and the graph would look like this. This would be the graph of y equals to 2 sin x. This is the graph of y equals to 2 sin x. Right? Similarly, if someone asks me to make the graph of y equals to 0.5 sin x. 0.5 sin x. So what happens here? We know sin x lies between minus 1 to 1. Where would 0.5 sin x lie? 0.5 sin x would lie between 0 minus 0.5 to 0.5. So we can see the range here lessens, right? The range become from minus 1 to 1, it becomes minus 0.5 to 0.5. See, that's why we say that when a lies between 0 to 1, the graph vertically compresses. So we'll make the graph of 0.5 sin x. So we'll use, let's use yellow color. So this is 1, let this be 0.5, right? And let this be 0 minus 0.5. So the graph would transform from 0.5 like this, it vertically compresses, right? The range of the graph lessens. So the transformed graph would be y equals to 0.5 sin x. So this was the original graph, y equals to sin x. When a is greater than 1, the graph vertically stretches, as you can see the green line. And if a lies between 0 to 1, the graph vertically compresses, as you can see using yellow line. Yellow line is 0.5 sin x. This was all about vertical stretching and compression. Second form would be our horizontal stretching and compression. Horizontal stretching and compression, right? So there are two cases in horizontal stretching and compression, and the expression looks like this: y equals to f of ax, right? Here we horizontally transform the graph. If a is greater than 1, the graph horizontally compresses. The graph horizontally compresses. And if a lies between 0 to 1, the graph horizontally stretches. The graph horizontally stretches. Right? Let's see this by an example. Right? We'll take the same example. Y equals to sin x. Next, this would be the original graph. We'll take two transform graph. One would be y equal to sin 2x and another would be y equal to sin 0.5x. We'll try to analyze this graph using some points. Right? So we'll make first y equals to sin x graph. We'll make the graph of y equals to sin x. This would be 1, this would be minus 1. So this is the graph of y equals to sin x, right? Y equals to sin x. This is the graph of y equals to sin x. Now we'll try to plot the graph of y equals to sin 2x. A is greater than 1, then the graph would horizontally compress. We'll see how this graph compresses. Like if at some points x equals to pi, if you take, then the value of fx would be 2 pi and value would be 0. If I take x ka value pi by 2, fx would be 0, right? Fx would be 0. This is 0. This is pi, this is 2 pi, this is minus pi, this is minus 2 pi. So, if we are taking x value as pi by 2, this is pi by 2, the value of fx is 0, right? You can see here, this is this point we can plot and this point we can plot, right? So, similarly, we will take one more point. Let's take y equals to pi by 4. If we take y equals to pi by 4, this becomes fx becomes sin pi by 2 and sin pi by 2 is 1. So, this is pi by 4 and it becomes 1. 1. So, transformed graph would look like this. This is 3 pi by 2. Similarly here, right? So this would be the graph of y equals to sin 2x. And here we can see the graph horizontally compressed for a greater than 0. Similarly for sin 0.5x, we will try to plot the points. Y equals to sin 0.5x. We can write this as sin x by 2, right? So we will take some points. At x equals to pi, fx is giving us pi by 2 sin pi by 2, it is 1. So we will take this green color, for x equals to pi, the graph is giving us 1, this, right? For x equals to 2 pi, the graph is giving us, for x equals to 2 pi, the graph is giving us a sine pi, which is 0, this. Similarly, at sine 0, the graph is 0. So, the graph would be this, like this. So, this is the green color is the graph of y equals to sine 0.5x. Y equals to sine 0.5x. Right? As you can see, A is what? 0.5. A lies between 0 to 1. So, graph, what happened to the graph? The graph vertically stretched, sorry, horizontally stretched itself. This is the original graph. The graph horizontally stretched itself. So, the white color line is y equals to sine x, the yellow color line is y equals to sine 2x, and the green color line is y equals to sine 0.5x. So, this was all about graph transformations. So, again we will come to the first question and we will try to solve the question, right. So, graph was y equals to minus 2x plus 3 ka whole square plus 3. Let's try to make this graph. First, what is the original graph? We can see y equals to x square. Let's plot the graph. Y equals to x square graph would be this, right? Second transformation they are making is y equals to x plus 3 ka whole square. So, for x plus 3, the graph would shift where? Leftward by 3 units. So, this would become minus 3 comma 0 and the graph would become this. The graph would shift leftwards by 3 units. Right. Next, we will try to plot minus graph of y equals to 2 x plus 3 ka whole square. So, here a is greater than 0. So, the graph would vertically stretch. Vertically stretch. So, we will make this graph. This is our point minus 3 comma 0. The graph would vertically stretch more. Right. Next, we will try to plot the graph of minus 2 x plus 3 whole square, and here minus is there like outside. The graph would reflected about x axis. So, the graph would be reflected about x axis and this graph would become like this minus 3 comma 0, and the last transformation we will use is y equals to minus 2 x plus 3 whole square plus 3. So, plus 3. So, graph would shift 3 units upward. So, this would be our final transform graph. This is the vertex minus 3 comma 0. The graph would shift 3 units upward. The vertex would become minus 3 comma 3 and our graph would become like this. So, this would be our fully transformed graph. This is the graph of y equals to minus 2 x plus 3 whole square plus 3. Right. So, we can write, we can tell if any expression is given like this, y equals to a times bx plus c. Wait. We can say if y equals to a times f of bx plus c plus g. So, all the outside terms, what are the outside terms that lies outside the function? It's a and d. A and d vertically transforms the graph. Vertically transforms the graph, and similarly all the inside constants horizontally transforms the graph. So, what are inside the constants? B and C are the constants inside the function. So, B and C horizontally transforms the graph, right. So, this was all for today. If you want to attempt some questions, so go and try. Try to attempt this question. Y equals to minus 3 times e to the power x plus 3 minus 3. You try to do this question and let's see. Thank you.